Son of a hurt my baby, hurt my baby, hurt my baby.
Me and my family would never be okay. Imagine trying to bury your niece with no body for the service.
Video surveillance recovered from the arson investigation led investigators to search the area of 3000 West Galena Street. On Friday, April 5th, investigators located human remains in the area.
Let's face it, guys, nothing is more exciting than your first date with someone you have a high level of curiosity for, especially if that person may be from another state, another city, or a different race. Now, for us who watch this video, many of us are from the Black community. You ever remember getting your first friend from another community, white, Asian? It was interesting because all you knew was a Black world. So to meet somebody different than you, it's always interesting, and it could be an amazing experience. So imagine you were doing that as your first time. You would tell people, you would be excited, you would want to put your best foot forward because you're going to meet this person that maybe you have a lot of questions for or you find intriguing. But there's one problem. When you go to this date, you're never going to come back home alive. Rewind, Nemo! This is the story of Sade Robinson. You see, she had a high level of curiosity too when she was asked out to a date by Maxwell Anderson, a 33-year-old Caucasian bartender, and she was telling all her friends at her pizza job called the Pizza Shuttle on April the 1st. She was going out that night to go hang out with this guy, but the next day they called her and she didn't pick up. They called her again. She didn't pick up. That's when people started to get worried, and for good reason. The last person they saw her with was Mr. Maxwell Anderson. And within that time period, they arrested him for 72 hours, but only on suspicion.
He's a Milwaukee bartender now at the center of an investigation into a severed leg. 12 News Investigates is learning more about Maxwell Anderson, including what law enforcement sources tell us they found in his basement.
Anderson has not been charged. At the same time, 19-year-old Sade Robinson has been missing for 10 days.
Police say she was last seen April 1st with her burnt car later found near 30th and Lisbon.
This past weekend, investigators discovered human remains near 31st and Galena over 3 consecutive days.
Now, this is the second place a body part was found in Milwaukee County in a week. That severed leg was found in Warnemont Park in Cudahy on April 2nd.
12 News' Hannah Hilliard is live outside Anderson's home near 39th in Oklahoma. And Hannah, you've been looking into his past all day long.
Yeah, Joyce and Patrick, and we have uncovered a lot, including Anderson's ties to Waukesha County and what sources are telling us investigators found inside this home exactly 1 week ago. This is the man behind bars, but not yet charged.
In the interest of Maxwell Stephen Anderson.
Appearing in court in connection to a case that's captivated Milwaukee. Who is Maxwell Anderson? We know he's a Southside resident whose house at 39th in Oklahoma was searched by investigators 2 days after someone found a severed leg on the Lake Michigan shore in Cudahy. 12 News has confirmed the 33-year-old man has ties to Waukesha County, attending Kettle Moraine, Catholic Memorial, and Pewaukee High Schools in the early 2000s. Anderson has a criminal record, a 2014 misdemeanor disorderly conduct conviction in Waukesha County after an incident with a family member in Delafield, and in 2015, a misdemeanor domestic violence case out of Door County. For the last few years, he's worked at several Milwaukee bars.
He works full-time,
including The Rave from 2018 to 2020, most recently working at Victor's nightclub on the east side. A woman who claims she met Anderson there spoke to 12 News by phone, but asked not to be identified out of fear for her safety. She says he once invited her to his Southside home.
I remember there being something about a hole in the yard, and this was back in fall. I remember asking about it, and he was like, oh, I'm building a garden.
In a view from News Chopper 12,
all right, that looks like a hole there, actually.
A gaping hole next to Anderson's house was visible earlier this week. Inside the home,
and when I got in, it just kind of seemed like he was in the middle of a whole bunch of renovations, but kind of seemed like the kind of guy that never would finish them.
Thursday, 12 News learned from multiple law enforcement sources Anderson had what is described as a sex dungeon in his basement.
Now remember, they had 72 hours to charge him or release him, but then there was some more evidence that came about.
Answers and some closure in a gruesome murder mystery that's gripped the Milwaukee area for more than a week now. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jessa Brycebeck.
And I'm Amanda Porterfield. This morning, Maxwell Anderson was charged with murdering and dismembering 19-year-old Sade Robinson. The charges link two stories we've been covering for more than a week: the missing woman, Robinson, and body parts discovered in several locations throughout the city and county. Prosecutors now say at least two of those body parts are Sade Robinson's, and officers are looking for more of them.
We have team coverage for you tonight of this breaking news. CBS 58's Taj Mahal and Bryant McRae will have details on the investigation, but we start with Adam Reif live from Anderson's South Side home, breaking down the new information tonight. Adam.
And this home is where prosecutors say Maxwell Anderson killed Sade Robinson after the two went on a date last Monday. A few blocks away is where Anderson was taken into custody a few days later. In moments, you will see new video of that arrest in progress. Now, this case is bringing into light the story that has simmered in the shadows for days. While a concerned family was looking for a missing woman, body parts were turning up all across the city of Milwaukee. And now we have more information on why.
Sick son of a hurt my baby.
Sheena Scarborough did not hold back.
Sick son of a gonna pay.
Her hatred for Maxwell Anderson was evident from the moment her daughter's alleged killer walked into the courtroom. Prosecutors say Anderson and Sade Robinson went out to two restaurants and bars the night of April 1st, then returned to Anderson's home on South 39th Street. They say at some point that night, Anderson killed Robinson, dismembered her body, then drove her car around while he scattered the body parts in various places.
The allegations in the complaint are abhorrent. It is the highest level of violence imaginable.
Anderson also ditched Sade's car and lit it on fire. He spoke just once during Friday's hearing.
Do you understand the maximum potential penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anderson's attorney first tried to get the homicide charge thrown out.
And there's nothing in here that says that she died at Mr. Anderson's home.
Sade's mother again lashed out.
So I'd ask you to dismiss that count before we address.
Anderson's attorney then alluded to Anderson being innocent.
Had Mr. Anderson been involved in this horrible tragedy, we would expect one to flee.
But bail was ultimately set at $5 million. Sade's family had been searching for her ever since her disappearance. Authorities used phone records, surveillance video, and home security video to close in on Anderson. He was arrested Thursday, April 4th. Friday brought some answers for the family, but also more questions.
Do something like this to my beautiful baby. She hurt nobody.
And little closure.
Me and my family would never be okay. Imagine trying to bury your niece with no body for the service.
And prosecutors say there are still missing body parts as they continue to look for all the human remains from Sade Robinson. Maxwell Anderson will return to court 1 week from Monday. Live here in Milwaukee, Adam Reif, CBS 58 News.
That's right. Random body parts of an African-American female severed from a body were showing up all across Milwaukee. And unfortunately, we believe that it's Sade Robinson. But rewind, Nemo! I want to now turn this into a different, bigger conversation, focusing still on Sade Robinson as the subject. You do have some sisters out there who will say that black men are violent, black men are not worth dating, and I came across this particular lady just a few weeks ago when she was talking about how her white boyfriend and her just ended their relationship. And she got trolled in the comments, but she said this about her loyalty to white men.
Hey y'all, what it is? I want to talk about two things today. The first thing, okay, so since I made those videos about the guy I was with for 2 months who turned out to be a snow dusty and lied about his finances essentially and basically led me on about a vacation, I've had comments about me leaving him and saying, oh, I thought white men were better. I've had to delete a lot of comments because they were like, oh, I thought white daddies were magically better. Oh, you can't keep a white man, blah, 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 blah. I guess white daddies aren't the best. And all this, and it was black dudes, of course, commenting on those videos of me. And it's like, I didn't even mention in that video. I just mentioned that one particular asshole, okay? And here's what is the most funny thing about all this. It's like black men are so triggered when black women just still don't want to date you. I still don't want to date black men. I'm still divested. I still believe white men are better. Okay, just because this asshole led me on does not mean that he's any doesn't mean that y'all are equal. No, you guys are not equal. Black men cannot take a no.
But the next clip is even interesting.
A lot of black men are dangerous, violent, and they can't take a goddamn no. In general, just can't take a no. Once I told him no to, like, when he was trying to touch me in the car, he stopped. He dropped me home, and I was able to dump him in peace. I got home safely. I was able to tell him, like, this ain't gonna work out, and I blocked his ass. I haven't heard from him since. He's left me the fuck alone. Let this have been a... He would have made fake phone numbers to reach out to me, to harass me. He would have probably kept going, if y'all know what I mean when it came to the inappropriate touching. Okay? He would have been worse. Okay? I've had very bad experiences with black men who just cannot take rejection. I know from firsthand that black men do not know how to take no for a goddamn answer. Okay? So don't tell me that, white men, must not be the best. White men, all this comparison, but y'all ain't the same as white men. White men are still better than y'all. I don't give two shit. Okay?
You hear that? White men are not violent, but black men are. But I kind of want to talk about a few situations in which that may not be necessarily true. Maybe she's never heard of Aaliyah Taylor.
He stood up and he told me to bow down, and I asked him why, and he didn't respond. He just told me to bow down again, and I told him no, and he immediately grabbed my neck, and that's when things began.
Do you recall what happened after that?
When he grabbed my neck, he threw me on the bed, and I remember looking up at him and asking him, "Please stop, Chad, it's me." And I just immediately knew the look in his eyes. That was it.
Yeah, that Aaliyah Taylor was the same lady that got almost beat to death by her white boyfriend, Chad Wheeler. And what about the story of James Michael Patrick, who killed his black wife, Janine Chapman, in Dallas?
Dallas police say Monday afternoon, officers found Chapman dead in an apartment inside the National on Elm Street in downtown Dallas. Tuesday, the medical examiner confirmed Chapman was murdered. 48-year-old James Patrick was identified as the prime suspect. Her sisters confirm the two were together on and off for 6 years.
Yeah, this guy beat her so bad, she was found unrecognizable. And the same situation goes on with this man, Mr. Maxwell Anderson. He's a 33-year-old guy preying on a 19-year-old woman because he probably can't get anybody his age. He's not doing very well financially. He has a criminal record. And of course, because he's so-called white, then you know what, we can trust him. But I believe you heard that he had a sex dungeon even inside of his house. And the guy is a killer. And this is what happens. We look at other races as being more trustworthy than our own, and then sometimes these horrific things happen. They don't get enough publicity because there are many stories of white men abusing black women. It happens every year on the internet. I don't see many black women killing white guys, but I damn sure hear the other way around. And so what I want to say is, hopefully this family gets the justice that they deserve, but we also must look at, we can't be putting these other groups above our own group for the fact that they're white or for the fact that they're Asian or any other thing. People are people. Sick people are sick people, regardless of race or ethnicity. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Sade Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Producer for all you do, subscribe to the bell. We're out.